All right, well, welcome to Simulation Pulse Live. Today, we have a very exciting opportunity to drop in on a grand opening of a new Acadicus space for Western Technical College. This is an initiative led by Jamie Howell from Western Technical College and Kevin Dean, and I'm sure a team of other supportive administrators and faculty that are working together to bring virtual simulation to their program. And they've been already doing some incredible things, building scenes, editing scenes, creating new environments. It's just been great to see how fast they've come on board. And they're also working with other schools. I know they've done some collaborations and yeah, just an overall great user of Acadicus. And today we're going to be joining them in their new, they've got a campus environment here. And so we'll be seeing, we've got a ribbon cutting ceremony. And what we're going to see, at least in the beginning, is some disembodied avatars that are just waiting over there. So basically, those are headsets that are logged into the environment so that when guests arrive, they can put the headset on and they'll be there. But when they're not being active, the avatar is just kind of waiting. So we'll see that. And of course, we have Rick Castile, our customer experience specialist, is here. Hey,
Hello,
Rick.
everyone.
Yeah, so let's check this out. Let's go check out the ribbon. Don't want to cut it prematurely, but we've got Sean is on the call here, and Sean built this amazing ribbon cutting asset. So uh, new customers can actually have a grand opening and use the scissors to cut the ribbon. So that's pretty cool. Got a great big medical scissors, very appropriate. So yeah, and then we have tools. I guess until we see Jamie or Kevin pop in, or Kendra, I believe, we could talk a little bit about, how this campus has been configured, where you can go into your simulation manager. I'm logged in as an administrator, so I can look at my menu here, and I can see we have options to configure their campus. So we can change the accent color. I'm not going to mess with it. Obviously, this is configured specifically to Western's colors based on the branding guidelines that they provided with in the initial configuration. And then we have the banner, which is basically a graphic that they were able to include, so we can see the banner. There's a brick accent color you can change. You can have the main logo, which we obviously see right in the middle. There's colors you can change for the pillar, primary color, and secondary color. So you can really customize the campus to look just like the branding of your organization. And that's what we see here. And then we also see that they're using an image displayer as a slideshow asset. So if we look over here, we can see that they have the labs that are available in their campus. So every campus has 6 labs, and they can see the labs there. Might want to just edit that out of the of the final footage here. But then we can also see that there's individual images that are set for each of the different scenes that you can load. So basically, each of these scenes is in a different lab, and a campus comes with these 6 labs. So each lab can be configured with a different scene. And some of these are solo experiences where the lab is set to solo mode, where everybody goes in and they'll be in their own iteration of that scene. So you won't see or hear other people, even if 5 or 6 students log into that same simulation, they won't see or hear each other. Some of them are multi-user. So you might go into one, like the 4-bay demo, I believe, is set to multi-user. So you log into that and you'll actually see and hear anybody else that's in that lab. So, and then each of those has the opportunity with a campus, your shortcut menu will be able to return you back to this campus. So if you're logged in as a Western Technical College user and you go out to those labs to have a simulation experience, you'll have a special button in your menu that will take you back to this hub. And then from the hub, you can jump out to other simulations. We got the image displayer and also a video displayer. So we've got a video displayer back here on this
Yeah, nice
wall.
big video out here. And
Yeah, we got
I
a
know
nice
there's a
big,
name for this.
like an amphitheater.
Amphitheater. There,
Yeah,
that's the
like an
word,
outdoor
John.
amphitheater
That's it.
back here. Yeah, so they can have lectures and classes back here if they'd like. We'll play this video for you.
Oh, this is nice.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So that
nice
can be
little loop.
configured. Yeah, in that simulation manager, we can have it loop. We can show the controls so you can see if I hover over it. Let me back up a little bit. If I hover over it, I can see the volume controls and the play button, but I can turn those off. So now I don't see those. So you can control either way. You can have the video muted if you'd like, and you can have it loop. Um, and then we have the Acadicam here. Oh, it's set to off. That's probably why you're not seeing it, Rick. So we'll just leave it off for now. But if we want to turn on the Acadicam, then Rick's view in VR mode would switch to a static camera position. And we actually have that Acadicam positioned over by the ribbon cutting, just in case we want to live stream from Rick's view or from the Acadicam view. And then here's the
John,
ribbon
I'm seeing
cutting.
in my VR view that some other folks have actually joined us over here.
All right. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, folks. Kevin, Kendra, can you hear us okay? Great. Not hearing you, but that's okay.
Yeah, we're excited to be joining you today. I don't know if you can hear us or not, but we're live streaming from the Acadicus Simulation Pulse live. So we get to witness the official
Whoosh,
cutting. Yay!
the cutting, we
That's
captured it.
exciting.
Woo!
Very cool. Congratulations, Western Technical College, on your new VR simulation center. This is pretty cool. Lots of different
Yep,
simulation experiences people will be able to enter into. We were just talking about. So that'll be great.
playing the video. And of course, John, I think we've talked about this before, how customizable this area is. It's set up this specific way for Western, but they can decide at any point if they want any of this content changed, they are able to, or we are able to work with them to change it. If they want these experiences to change over on the right side panel, they can be changed. If they want to bring in content right here within this area, they can do that. Um,
They went
oh,
off to a
and I
simulation.
think they've
Yeah, they went into one of the scenes, I think. I'm not sure which one they went to, but they went into one of
they might yeah.
these experiences, so they'll probably be back soon. Yeah, so they just jumped out. Yeah, they just went into one of these environments and they'll go check that out. And their audio probably was set to mute purposely because when you're in a physical lab together, especially if you're in close proximity, you don't
Mhm.
really need to use the audio in a catechus. In fact, sometimes it can double up where you'll hear a little bit of an echo where you're hearing the catechus microphone. You know, the microphone is
Mhm.
picking up the voice and then it's repeating through a catechus, but you're also hearing them in person. So a lot of times if you're in close proximity in a VR lab, you'll just go ahead and mute your mic, and then that way you're not hearing that echo. So that's probably why we weren't hearing them,
Mhm.
which makes sense. So
And I can bring up a panel as an administrator and I can actually see who's in the lab with us and whether they're muted or not. So,
perfect. One thing I didn't mention yet is that there's also a video that you can customize that's streaming against the back wall. That's a ring that goes all the way around the campus. I'm just going to slowly move my
mhm.
camera over here so I don't make anybody too dizzy. So you can see that we've got it on a loop right now where it's just looping a pattern, but you could have that be anything. You could have that be, you could be creative with that video and have that going around the rim there. A lot of possibilities. And we like to, architecturally with the design of the campus hub, it's an outdoor environment. And we find that we've had a bunch of different ideas over the years about what makes sense as a landing hub. And we've gone all the way from extremely outdoor environments, thinking that being outdoors it just makes people more receptive to learning new things and it's comfortable and but then
Mhm.
it's also at the same time it's a learning experience. You want the visitors and the guests to be able to feel as if they're entering into something that is it's a learning experience and
Mhm.
they're simulating a medical environment is ultimately what they're after. So going into like a forest before you're going into an operating room seems like a bit of a contrast. So what we tried to
Mm-hmm.
do was introduce enough architectural elements so that it's very clear that you're in, a campus-like space, but also at the same time not making it traditional building with doors and windows and there's no elements to protect from in Acadicus. So we have the liberty to have
Mm-hmm.
some to do some interesting things architecturally and environmentally that you couldn't do in the real world. So we want to take advantage of that. So we tried to strike that balance between just having, just enough of the architecture here to suggest that there's a space here and that this is a learning place, but also include that nature element so that it does feel warm and inviting and open and sort of uplifting. So I think there's a lot of studies that indicate that even virtual nature does have a positive impact on your ability to receive information. So that is kind of the story of the environment here. Kind of an outdoor
And John,
pavilion.
I think it also nicely mimics being in a physical location like you would go to a college campus, right? Back in our day, we would go to the college, we would walk across the grounds or the commons, and we would go into a classroom. And even very similar here, right? We have this very inviting area, this arena. Walk across the commons, we pick a classroom that we're going into or an experience, and boom, we're there.
And you're there. Absolutely. Yeah, and another extreme that you can go to is going all the way virtual, right? If you don't have any elements to protect from and you don't have any real reason to have that, some environments can get really out there, where you can challenge a
Mm-hmm.
lot of norms and expectations about what it means to be in a virtual environment. But there too, we've gone that direction as well, and I think you run the risk of maybe disorienting a user that has never been in VR
Mm-hmm.
before. They're putting in a headset and suddenly they're in outer space or they're upside down or they're in some really
Mm-hmm.
virtual environment. But here this is a familiar looking space, like you said, Rick. It feels familiar. It doesn't feel like you're in some space age future sci-fi
Yes.
kind of a thing, which has its place for sure. But again, we're looking at the entire spectrum of users that are going to be coming in here and want to make sure that they're able to find their way around and not feel too disoriented.
And John, I don't know if this will show up on your video, but we just had a notification about a user popping in.
Oh yeah, they're
And so
back.
we've had somebody join us. And
So
if
they're
you're already
probably
in an
jumping out to
experience, you
another
get
one.
notification that somebody's here. They
Oh,
must be going, I see them walking over here to the right. So they're picking one of these experiences and selecting them and going in.
cool. That's great.
And
And
that's
again,
exactly what we would want and expect, right? They're going to come in, they're going to either go over to a specific lab, multi-user lab, or maybe on the right to a single user experience and jump right into that class.
yeah, that's fantastic. Maybe when Kevin gets back, I'll have him cut the ribbon again so I can get an up close screenshot to share with him.
Are we able to reset it?
Yeah, we can reset. I don't want to reset it yet until he gets back and see if that's what they want to do. I just don't want to interrupt if they've got a group of people they're presenting to. I'm just imagining, I don't know what their situation looks like in the real world, and I know they may have like a presentation component. I don't want to be talking over them in VR while they're trying
Gotcha.
to do their presentation. So I'll just wait and see what they say when they get back.
Oh, I
But
see in our sim manager, there's a reset button for the
yeah,
cuttable ribbon.
can reset that. And so I think what I might do is just we'll call this an episode of the Pulse. And we had the grand opening here, and I think unless there's any questions, let me just check and see who's here. But if anybody wants to ask a question, we're happy to answer. Otherwise, I think we'll call this an episode, and we'll see you next Friday.